Just like yesterday, your lesson essential question is how do we compare and contrast two stories by the same author? So again, we're comparing and contrasting stories by the same author. So we're going to see some of the same characters show up again in our stories. And we'll be talking about the character's setting and the plot, and of course, in the end, the theme. So you remember that we can compare and contrast stories. We know that we look for the characters in the setting, we look at the problem, the solution, so that beginning, middle, and end. We look at how the characters act and react, and again in the end, we look for that theme or the lesson of the story. We're going to read The Home of the Winds together, and then you're going to read a story on your own. So this is called The Home of the Winds. The next day Ulysses and his companions set sail. After a while, they came to the floating island where the King of the Winds had his home. For a whole month the king made him welcome. When Ulysses wished he could go home, the king did what he could to help him. He took the hide of an ox, very thick and strong. The word hide means skin, so he took the skin of the ox, very thick and strong. He put in it all the winds that would keep Ulysses from getting to his home, and he fastened it to the deck of his ship. Then he made a gentle wind blow from the west. For 9 days it blew, till the ships were very near to the island of Ithaca. But just before dawn on the 10th day, Ulysses, who had stayed awake all the time, fell asleep. The crew of his ship said to each other, "See that great bag of ox hide? It must have something very precious inside it, silver and gold and jewels. Why should the chief have all of these good things to himself?" So they cut the bag open, and all the winds rushed out and blew the ship away from Ithaca. Ulysses woke up at the noise, and at first thought that he would throw himself into the sea and die. Then he said to himself, "No, it is better to live," and he covered his face and lay still, without saying a word to his men, and the ships were driven back to the island of the King of the Winds. So, what was the setting in the Home of the Winds? They're at a floating island, and then they're also on the ship. The magical part of this story was a bag of wind. What did the crew do? What were the actions of the crew? If you look in paragraph 4, it talks about how the crew found the bag of wind and they opened it. They released the winds. So what was the result of the crew's actions? The winds blew the ship away from Ulysses' home. So as they opened it, it blew the ship away. And we saw that at the end in paragraph 4. You're going to be reading another story today about Ulysses. It's called Ulysses and the Sirens. And you're going to be drawing this graphic organizer in your notebook and finishing it with that story. And then tomorrow, I've posted this graphic organizer and it's complete, so you'll be able to check your work. Then we'll be working on a writing assignment with this story. So today, you're finishing your graphic organizer. Tomorrow, you're checking your work. And then the following day, you're going to have a writing assignment with these two stories.